Employers have a bigger role than they realize in helping families meet their infant feeding goals. Supporting lactating employees can boost workplace retention, recruitment, and cost savings for both the mother and the baby. It can enhance brand recognition and reputation, and it can also show the commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Having a good policy for lactating parents can actually go a long way in creating an environment in the workplace where everybody feels like their differences are safe and they can speak up if they feel like they're not being treated well.
The Maine State Breastfeeding Coalition has been around for over 30 years. We are focused on improving the systems to support families in their feeding goals. And we do that through connection, education, and advocacy. The Maine State Breastfeeding Coalition is here for these families going back to work. We're advocating for them at the state level. We're also advocating for them by providing education to their employers and to all the people around them. We've also partnered with Maine Health's Let's Go program on creating a toolkit for employers to help prepare them for supporting their lactating employees when they come back to work. And that toolkit includes a sample policy, which includes language around providing time and space for their lactating employees to be able to express milk while they're at work. It also includes a recommendation to have communication with all their employees to make sure they understand that this policy is in place, and education for their managers on staff so they know how to best support their employees when they return to work.
We enforce the PUMP Act, which is a federal law. Several states around the US now have their own laws with deeper protections than we do. The PUMP Act has 3 basic rules. The first is that women that are expressing breast milk need to be able to do so in an area that is free from view, and it cannot be a bathroom. The second is that they need to have a reasonable amount of time to do this, and the third is that they cannot be discriminated against.
So Maine was ahead of the game in 2009 when it passed a law requiring employers to provide adequate break time and space to express milk for up to 3 years postpartum.
Even though there are 2 laws, federal and state, that pretty much say the same thing, there are some differences in terms of how the laws are applied. Maine law goes 3 years, federal law only goes 1 year, but federal law also has the ability to bring what's called a cause of action and to sue your employer directly for not giving you those accommodations under federal law. Maine law gives employees the right to have adequate break time to take to express milk in the workplace. And they're also allowed under the law to have a place to express the milk that is shielded from view and is private. The law in Maine prohibits discrimination. It's called a protected class, somebody in this category, and also prohibits retaliation for complaining about not being given these rights.
I think we know that breastfeeding, like any other issue, doesn't exist in a vacuum. Part of how we support breastfeeding is to support everything around the birthing and perinatal period. So that's why we think paid family and medical leave is so important to breastfeeding. Right now, the state is working on implementing paid family and medical leave. That's a huge priority for us in terms of preserving the access to breastfeeding that we've started to build. Being an employer who is thinking about how to support and accommodate their employees, and not just in the workplace, but also communicating that out when there's a policy issue. We need to have employers and small businesses advocating for successful implementation of paid family and medical leave, or advocating for access like the PUMP Act affords. It's really important that it not just be working people, that employers also have skin in the game and show up to support these policies.